topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Top of the evening to you. Welcome back to another fabulous dialogue conversation. I bet you didn't know type of talk this evening. And thank you all for joining us. Welcome. And I got to say hello to my fabulous co-host, Miss Trey. Hey.
Hey, how you
doing? Good. You're doing good. How's your week been?
It's going okay, going great so far.
We'll take it. Then, of course, I got Miss Tommy. Miss Tommy's around the way, down the block. There we go. We passed 2 traffic lights and a stop sign, and we will be good to go. Tommy, how are you?
I am wonderful.
As always, I've got fabulous co-hosts. We have a fabulous engineer. She's in the Rebels in the background, making us look good, making sure we're coming through. Breaker 19. And this is all about female power. This is where we go. This is how we do it. Glory to God. I want to first have a moment of silence for the folks in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I don't know if there have been any casualties, but I'm a native Floridian. Let me say that. I have lived in West Palm Beach, Florida for the bulk of my life. I've only been in Orlando for 22 years. Okay. And I have never known Fort Lauderdale to be flooded. Never in my life. We've got hit by the hurricanes. Hurricanes came through Miami, destroyed houses and hurt people, and there was fatalities and everything else. But I have never seen the pictures that are coming out of Fort Lauderdale. I have never. And so I checked in with a couple of classmates who are down in that Broward area, Brevard area, Hollandale area, Oakland area, all of that. That's all Fort Lauderdale headed to Miami, all of that. And when I was talking with the student, my classmate today, she was like, it's pouring down rain now. She's already trying to text her husband to go get the son from this school over here. And she's trying to go and get her daughter from over. Actually, she didn't let her daughter go to school. She goes, I'm not going downtown. I'm not going to do it. We had people stranded here in Orlando from Fort Lauderdale, supposed to be heading down south, and they had them stranded. So let's have just a moment of silence for those folks, please. Thank you. And like I said, to date, I do not know because I can't even look at it. I can't even look at pictures of it. So I don't know if there have been any fatalities. I do know that, people are just natural disasters are happening everywhere. We've got people still killing folk. Now they're killing children. We just had another one this weekend where a woman and her daughters were killed, and they took the baby and it's just a mess. I don't understand. And I go back to the same anger and everything else. And people got to deal with the anger. We don't have to, I know you want to get the guns off the street, but the guns are already there. And what our governor is doing to sanction, you don't have to get a license to carry a weapon or all that kind of stuff. You're just putting, you got another agenda you're trying to achieve. I want to get to the anger. I want to get to people. And we're beyond prevention. We're beyond early intervention. We're in intervention and we're in crisis. We've been in crisis mode since 2020. And I know this is not the topic. We're going to get to the topic tonight. It is an exciting one, but it's just heavy on my heart that we need to get to why these people are so angry, to the point where they want to go pick up something and do harm. Bodily harm. It's enough that those who do the emotional harm and the verbal abuse and the emotional abuse, but now you just take it to there's a group that just I have nothing to live for, so let me just, and I don't want you living anymore. I don't understand that, but we'll talk about that another time. But we got to keep the world in prayer. We got to keep the world in prayer. There's never a time to pray. And for those who are not sure how to pray, just grab your Bible and just start reading the scriptures out loud. Even if it's in Genesis 1:1, in the beginning, Jesus wept. Whatever you have to do scripture if you're not certain of how to pray. Anyway, tonight we want to talk about, which I thought was kind of interesting to see on the calendar, World Creativity and Innovation Day. And we know that there are people sitting right now that you all can see on the channel here that are full of ideas, full of creativity. And so I'm going to let them do some talking tonight, because a lot of my dreams have come into fruition, and some of them wasn't even my dream, and it came along with everything else. So I want you ladies to talk about your dreams, some innovation, some ideas that you got, some creative ideas that you've had. I got to just keep clearing my throat. I'm sorry, excuse me. And I'm not looking at the camera because I know they're looking at me. I want them to unmute and to talk about some ideas they have. Okay. And then after they talk and everything, then we're going to say, we're going to challenge our audience, write it in, send us some feedback. What kind of ideas are you interested in? And you're thinking, I can't do this because of what? So it's a two-part question. So either one of you, I'm going to mute. Either one of y'all can get started, but you know the rules. Oh Lord, they're pointing at each other. Jesus.
All right. Woo. So there's various things that I enjoy. First of all, I like to be creative in doodling, drawing, sketching, writing poetry, but also too, I think one of my biggest passions is community organizing and community building or relationship building and family engagement. That piece, that is like really something at the top of my list that is very enjoyable. It's like I get a natural high. I don't know what it is. It's like when I talk about it, and depending on who I'm talking about it with, you can tell my wheels are turning. And how do we get people on the same page, or how do we explore ideas and bring them together for a common good? So when you were talking about the guns, and since we're already in that mode where people have the guns, okay, what can we do to make an improvement on it? So if that's the case, then maybe if the laws are not going to put in sensible gun laws or regulations, then maybe the people need to take it on themselves. Okay, well, if people are going to have the guns, and offer gun safety classes, what to do with the gun. They're already there. Maybe even free of charge, no questions asked. This is how you do the gun, because they're not asking questions anywhere else. And if people are going to want to have the guns, at least know how to shoot ding dong things, correctly and putting the safety on and how to store it, and making sure you keep it out of reach of children, but maybe even workshops about that. It's kind of taking ownership, and if no one is going to, like I said, if legislators are not going to pass laws, sensible gun laws, then maybe just people take it on their own, and maybe somebody will just say, hey, I'll teach you how to shoot, where at least if you're gonna do it, at least hit the person that you're trying to hit, not everybody else. Not trying to be fun. It's because you have innocent people that are innocent just standing there, and especially if you retaliating against folks and you shooting everybody but the person that you're trying to get. And I know it's probably funny, but it's not funny because of the fact that innocent folks are dying and nothing else is being done. So I'm just looking outside of the box to figure out what would be a common ground that to teach responsibility. And then I'll maybe offer some anger, management. If you feel like you're doing this, put your gun away. Those are factors to bring on anger. When you're under the influence of drugs or alcohol, your faculties are not where they should be. And so you might become more impulsive. So, I mean, if you're going to do it, just maybe some ideas or some events around that. How to keep your kids safe, and just talk about it. How can we keep our kids safe? Have a big old community event, and you just bring all the factors together to talk about. Maybe even if NRA, hey, let them do a part. This is how you do. This is how you store your gun. This is how you clean your weapon. Never pointed at anybody, even though you think it's unloaded. Those types of things are kind of see where we can go from there. And also to getting communities and families involved with other stuff. How can you improve your area? What are some things that you can beautify it? What are some things that make, your home more marketable, your neighborhood more safe? Because stuff attracts things, so if you have, what's the word I'm looking for? People bring what they're attracted to. So, if you're living in a quiet neighborhood and you got some folks that are moving that are loud, they're going to bring the loud people with them. And then it's going to reflect, more people attracted to it, and the people who are quiet going to go. So those are some of the things. I know I've probably gone off tangent, but hey, it's Monday.
That word you was looking for was curb appeal.
Yes, yes, yes. Exactly, Tommy. So I think I'm done for right now with my stuff. So, but yeah, and then my passion too. I always have to throw it is awareness for domestic violence and mental health. Those are my two things. Those are my babies, and just trying to figure out ways to bring more awareness to that.
Well, I love what you said, and I like how you inputted that you involved the NRA in there, because they're the one that back all this that happens, because they don't want to lose their power of whatever they have. And we know nobody, I don't think on U.S. soil need a AK-47, because this ain't a war zone. That's first on program. But then I like the fact that you're including them in. So yes, come teach how you keep your gun safe. Come teach how you store your gun properly. That will protect a lot of our children. And it's funny you should bring up that about the guns, because the other day my mom was telling me on one of those judge shows, there was two young men, one 17, one 16. I think the 17-year-old and his dad used to go shooting and doing little things. The 16-year-old, he was egging the 17-year-old, let me see the gun. Let me see the gun. So he did. And he let him hold it. he took the chamber out of the gun, but I mean took the holder, the bullet holder out. But little did either one of them realize there was still a bullet in the chamber. Luckily, no casualties happened, but one of the little boys, the 16-year-old, did get hurt. So the mom and the dad in court, mom want to sue for $2,500, dad want to sue for $800 because what happened, the little boy's shoulder got hurt because he, that gun, pull back, but the bullet went into this man's antique car that was worth a lot of money. All he wanted was repair to his car. The mom wanted the doctor bills to be paid. The judge asked both of the boys what was the situation. Well, they end up ruling the mom had to pay that dad that $800 because she's responsible for that 16-year-old. But he told those two young men, both of them, you need to work to pay off that doctor bill, making them responsible, making them accountable for their actions. One, because he should have not let him talk him into it. And two, you were only supposed to go so far, but as we say, take an inch and you want to run a mile. So that's why they both end up. That was good judgment to me because that's making both of those boys responsible, taking care of this man's car, and that mama realizing that her son needed to be punished in some form of way. But on that end, with the job I have now, I'm learning more community engagement, and I'm really enjoying it. And we having a function in June where I work with a lot of teenage moms that are in school and what have you, encouraging them and letting them know, yeah, you made this mistake, but that mistake don't define where your future goes. And so we are doing an exhibit and showing dads as well as mom, teen, 19 and younger, but showing where they, what they look like back then with their baby and where they are today. And they're great success stories. And I'm really looking forward to that in June. But I'm finding that it's nothing like serving the community in some form or way or capacity by trying to make life or things better for everyone. We do have to pray. Because there's a strong urge and a need that we do have to protect each other and look out for each other and constantly be on the run, on our knees, praying for every situation that goes on, whether it's mine or yours. So my passion becoming more of people and people oriented and serving. I feel like I'm truly learning what God has me for, and that's serving his people. He served me, so now I'm serving his people in a way or capacity that he's allowing me to do it. And I'm loving every day of it.
Well, very good. I want to go back to Trey. When you're talking about community engagement and, getting people involved, and how do you, it could be as small as just getting some like-minded people together on a Zoom call. And let's say you're up in Virginia, we're here in Florida. We got somebody maybe over in Missouri, Mississippi, if somebody's in California. We're representing at least 5 powerful states. Okay. And then we say, okay, what would we like to do? As an example, I'm on the NAACP for Barry University. We have a student chapter. And the most of everybody's down there. I do have one other person on the board that's up here. She's going to the law school, Barry University Law School. So she's up here in Orlando with me. Well, 2 Christmases ago, no, 2 Thanksgivings ago, we said we wanted to do some outreach, but we're in 2 different cities, And so what we did was I said, well, I'm going to mirror what you all are doing down there. And sure enough, at one of the president's job, she works at a school. She had a box, and if anybody wanted to give food in the box, you could do that. And then for Christmas, we chose to deal with the domestic violence shelter. And so she gathered some toys. She collected some toys, and then the young lady and I went shopping up here for toys. I got a couple of checks from some of my sponsors, and we went shopping and purchased. And so we gave those donations to our shelter up here while they gave to the shelter down in Miami. So you can start somewhere there, It could be awareness. We come up with a flyer, just a 1-page flyer, and we put on all of our social media. That's the goal. Just put it on all our social media, and hopefully somebody will share it, on their social media. It could be as small as that. I think that's why, and I'm not referring to you, Trey, but there are a lot of people I meet along the way that do have great ideas, but they're stuck because they're thinking I could only implement it this way. And you'd be surprised as to how you can implement something, and you don't need money. That's another thing, just a little commercial here for your nonprofits out there. My sponsors are my doctors, my surgeons, and some of my spiritual daughters. They're my sponsors. If I need something, I call them, and Tommy is one of them as well. I need something. I'm collecting books, or I'm collecting socks. Next thing you know, Tommy's dropping off a bag full of something. So you don't have to go out and get, a whole bunch of people involved. Look, we could do a lot with 3 people. Our board, our NAA board, we only consist of 4 people. Only 4 of us. And 2, like I said, are down south, and 2 are here. So whatever you have on your heart to do, and I know you and I have talked about a couple of things too, let's just make it happen. Let's plan it out and make it happen, because you are the leader. You're the only contender, as far as I'm concerned, with domestic violence. You're the only one. You're the only one, because I know what you can do. Set you loose, set you free. Oh, I know what you can do. We could take the United States. I know what you can do. This girl is bad to the bone. She quiet. She thinks she don't have much to say, but you wait till she get a project in her hand. Okay. I know, because I've watched her, and I worked alongside her. I've been there, I've watched her, and I've seen what she could do in our community, and in my hometown, Palm Beach County, our hometown. Amen. And I know what Tommy can do. Now, Tommy's going to be bad to the bone with this new job, because they don't even know what they have amongst them. They just think, oh, she's quiet, she's friendly. Okay, no, you give Tommy a project. I promise you, she'll run with it and be like, well, where'd she go? What aren't we supposed to do? No, I got it. And next thing you know, it's done. So I would want to encourage people who are listeners out there, don't stop. This is the time, since 2020, especially, this has been the time. If you've got an idea, if you've got a business that you want to implement, or a project that you want to do with a special population, this has been, the last 3 years has been your time. I'm telling you, it's been your time. Go do what you have to do. You need to get more education. You should have did that when former President Obama was in place, because he was letting everybody go to school. Everybody could go to school. Even men raising their children could go to school. So y'all kind of missed that. And I don't know why you did, but you did, some of you. And then now here we are. You may have an idea you'd be surprised. And don't take my word for it. Watch Shark Tank. These people come up with porta potty, not porta potty, something potty. And all it is a little gadget that goes, you put your feet up on. I'm not going to get any grotesque here, but you're in the bathroom, right? And there's a stool. And it really helps you to be productive in the bathroom. It was a son and a mother that came up with it. Lori Grenier jumped on it, and it's in every Bed Bath & Beyond. It was on her show. I forgot what it's called. Where you sell things.
Is it QVC?
QVC, yes. Sold out, and I mean, they became millionaires almost overnight when she came on board. I'm telling you. Watch that. If that don't encourage you, then you know what? You just go back to being a dreamer and stay right there. Because if the show, they come up with some things from gluten-free popcorn to gluten-free food for dogs and cats to how to carrying a baby in a poncho thing that will wrap. It's a swaddling thing and all that. You'd be surprised at the ideas people have. And when they're chosen to go on to, Shark Tank, I mean, it's amazing because you sit there like, what? And you know what? That'd be a good idea. One guy created a little thing that go between your seats. He said, are you mad about, all the time you try to have your change and your change just be falling out your hand and everything, or it's falling out your pocket? Well, there's a thing he created that goes between your seat and your console. It'll catch anything that's going. Ain't nothing going to the floor. Nothing going to the floor. Little thing, little square thing, about this wide, about this tall, and it's black. And probably buying different colors. I forgot who attached with him. So a little girl came out. She has a special lemonade. She had a lemonade stand, and she came on to the show. And even though I don't think at first I don't think she got any of the sponsors, but Damon John got up and said, you know what? I tell you what. Whatever. What is it? What you came out here for? 150,000? I'll give it to you. I'll do it. I'll do that deal. He had to get up because they had was out. All the sharks said no. You're too early. It's too. It's in an embryonic stage. When you do some more because you're doing well. She had great sales. They packaged the lemonade. Lemonade from a lemonade stand. And then Damon got the show going off, and the father, I think it was her father with her. They were walking back down and get ready. And Damon said, "Wait a minute, no, because I used to be that little girl. And he said, I'll do that for you. I'll do the deal." And they're like, "Okay, thank you, yep." And then a lot of times Damon has said, "You know what? You don't need us, right? You really don't need us. You're doing good. Keep your product on online. Don't go to a brick and mortar. Keep it online, But I'll be your customer. I promise you that." And that's all Damon had to say. And the business just took off. So, you could be encouraged. Right now, I'm watching, what's the show? Next Level Chef. And these miscellaneous chefs that Gordon Ramsay has put this show out there. These people have applied for it. And then their titles are social media chefs. These people went on their TikTok or went over their YouTube, created a little channel because people say, "Oh, you could really cook. You need to go on TV or something." That's all it took. They're called social media chefs. And now they're going to have an opportunity to rent $250,000 and be in one of Gordon's restaurants. Average Joe that can cook. Average Joe, average Jeanette that can cook. That's it. So it's out there, but you've got to just go. You just got to leap. You have to leap. Many billionaires will tell you when they first got their start, if it wasn't if they weren't born with a silver spoon in their mouth, they had hundreds of no way. That's stupid. That's crazy. You stupid. You need to go get a job. You need to stop that. But did they stop? Did they let that stop them? No. I never wanted to be in private practice. I'm boots to the ground type of social worker. I want to be there arm in arm with my clients on the ground. I get married and move to Orlando. I'm at a sports doctor office to get my oldest son his sports physical. And here's this young lady. She goes, "Are you a therapist or something?" Out of nowhere. I had nothing to say that. I looked just like, I was like, "How did you know?" Well, she had the gift of prophecy. That was one thing. And she said, "Have you ever dealt with ADD and ADHD?" I said, in kids, no. Adults, yes. But ADHD, it was kind of new to me. 21 years ago, ADHD and ADD was new to me, believe it or not. 21 years, because I've been here 21, 22 years. Okay? And she said, well, all three of my children have it. Would you agree? Would you work with me? I said, well, I'm not a clinical, I'm not licensed as a social worker. She said, well, would you take something? I can pay you out of pocket. I said, well, I could give you a sliding fee scale. I'm sitting there like, I can't believe this. And I began doing home visits in her home and seeing her kids an hour apiece in their home. All I had to do is say yes. It came to me. And thanks to her three kids, I became a specialist. And that led to working at Children's Medical Services. And in between time, the same mom introduced me to a gentleman who's an African-American. He's a licensed clinical social worker out of New York. I met with him. We went over to CMS. CMS said, well, they forgot to ask if I was licensed. They knew he was licensed. And we were getting checks. We were getting paid. And I wasn't even licensed. And they gave us space in their building weekly. Have a heart for people. Have a heart to want to see people change. Well, in order for you to have a heart to see people change, you need to be a change agent. You need to be changing. You need to be that model. You need to have people say, God, you know what? I want to be just like you. I want to be like, no, you don't want my shoes. I bring my shoes with me. I don't leave my shoes behind. You ain't got no shoes to fill when I leave. So bring your own shoes. Make sure that everybody's size, because you're going to be walking. You're going to be running sometime too. Okay. You're going to be skating, all kinds of stuff. I take my shoes with me, you know? And then you look at your children and you're like, wow, well, BJ is a toddler. He liked to take the pots out and beat on them. Today he is doing beats. And the music that you hear on our intro was created by my son in his room. And now he does beats for people. My oldest son came out with doing graphic design, drawing and everything. Very creative. His hope is to work with dolphins and in the future. But taking that same creativity and reaching that population. That is that animal population. My daughter, of all people, creative. She's 2 years old, walking and everything, and we were feeding one morning, and she go in her room and she come out with a different outfit on, and I'm like, and they weren't purchased together, and I'm looking at this girl, I'm like, oh Lord, and I'm not a mother with her head in the sand, okay? So I'm looking at ADD, ADHD because she was too hyper to me. She would eat, take a bite, and go in the room, change her clothes, come out, have 50 different outfits on, and I'm like, but she ain't hyper. She's just casually walking in the room. Now she's getting ready to be a fashion designer. She's in beauty college. She's doing all kinds of things. And all my kids can wear any type of color. I didn't have my boys in just navy blues and stuff like that. They can wear any color. So parents, look at your children. And if it's worth investing. All it takes is just one person. My daughter was asking me something today. I said, well, I brought up Tommy's name, and I said, we can ask one of my spiritual daughters to help you out with that. Just give them a call. People who I know. And I believe, I'm not speaking for these two ladies, but these two ladies, I think they know me well enough that if they need help with something, give me a call. I may not be able to do it, but I can give you two or three references. I can refer you to somebody. You know, that's all it takes. It's just that. And another thing it takes is not telling everybody your business. I have a building now, but I'm not going to show you pictures of it on Facebook because everybody ain't for me. Can't show you my new sign. Not going to do it. And now God's got all the prophets saying, keep your business to yourself. So that's another thing too. You can't tell everybody everything. Whether it's a blessing from God or an idea, just run with it. Let them look back and say, well, where did you do that? There's a lady that says to me, every time she called me by my married last name. She goes, Night, and every time we look up, you may mention something, but you done something, and then you back at it. It's like, how did she know me just that well? Next thing you know, I'm over here. Next thing I'm doing this over here because God's telling me, go over there and do that. Go over there. I did my whole stint with PTSA. on behalf of my kids. I didn't need nothing, no honorable mentions and accommodations on my resume. I wanted to know what legislatively was coming down the pike in education for my kids, so I won't be caught off guard like some parents have been. I knew laws that just came out hot off the press before they even hit the newspaper. We knew about it. That's why you joined the PTA, the PTSA, not PTO. Whole different show. Anyway, PTA, oh yeah, because in Florida we got 30,000 voices. We come 30,000 strong. But look what it did. Got me some accommodations, got me in front of other people that I normally wouldn't have met, school board people, and now they asking me to run. No, leave me alone. No, because that's too much foolishness. No, y'all ain't ready for me. I'm an island unto myself, unfortunately. I have to stay over here. I'll be in the shadows, but I'm watching. Amen. So you have to do what you have to do. But it's not, don't you make it this big thing. It's not that big. I want to host my own pop-up shops. I'm trying to find a space that I can do it in. Easy to do to pull people together, but we need to have them consistent. We don't need to have them once every 3 months, 6 months. We need to have them monthly. I want to have them monthly. I ain't trying to make no money, but I'm going to do more than break even. It's fair. I already asked Felicia. She's cooking. She's a chef now. I said, you ready to take on, we doing a pop-up shop and you be the only chef? You be the only cook on ground? She said, yes, ma'am. I said, okay. Sometimes you got to push. You got to push yourself and stop holding back. Come on, ladies. Y'all unmute and let's talk. Come on. What you going to tell the audience to do? Come on now. Okay, come on now.
You covered a lot of ground. I mean, you really, how they say, you the motivator of the day, because I mean, you are pushing, and you know what? And I think society could really use that. Wherein, and we were just talking about this the other day at work, wherein so often, like our young men out here that are selling drugs and what have you, these are awesome businessmen. They're just using it the wrong direction. And they left it up to saying, well, this person didn't give me an opportunity, that person didn't give me an opportunity. Create your own opportunity. What you think about these people that started making their CDs and records and sell them out the trunk of their car? You have to create your own destiny. God gave you the vision and the understanding of what you can do, your skills and your craft. Now create your own. You know, just like so many the artists, they started making their own, you know, buying a home and putting the studio in their home. They don't have to pay for studio time no more. They're pulling people in, they paying them for studio time. Might not charge what others were charging, but it's creating your own. I mean, I don't care for the music, but Jay-Z and those moguls, they created their own. They took rap and took it to a whole nother level. So it's not all about being on the basketball court. Everybody's not going to be out there. Everybody's not going to be drafted. Everybody's not going to be on the football field. But I guarantee you have a gift that you can render to this earth and you would be successful. Now, we imagine success by you having this multi-million-dollar house and all these fine cars. Success is being able to provide you and your family, being able to go from day to day. Every now and then, yeah, you might step out and go have a nice steak or meal or whatever the case may be, but you are able to provide. Y'all not struggling. That's success in life. Because every every entrepreneur and whatever have had a point of trying to survive. They just had to climb up that mountain in order to get to the top. But you have to keep going for it. You don't let, because that mountain look that high, it don't mean I can't climb it. It means you still can climb it. So my encouragement is what Ms. Gray just laid on you. Go, let's be like Nike and just do it.
Just do it.
For it. And if it takes little by little, grow. Just grow. Just grow. Do a little bit here, a little bit there, and continue on.
Yes.
That's what it takes.
You all need to go see the Air show, the Air movie with Michael Jordan. I am not a Michael Jordan fan. Never was. I give it to his props. Yes, he's a good athlete. I appreciate it. I saw this movie because of Viola Davis in it. When Wayne and the Wayans brothers. I like the actors and actresses that are in it. So I wanted to go see, because I wanted to see, wait a minute, why is this show? And God kept pushing me. You need to go see it. We went to see that show, that movie. Had no idea. Talk about an idea. An idea. And I'm not giving none of the part. I'm not going to tell you even a small part of the movie because it'll give it away. But you need to invest and go watch that movie and see what Michael Jordan, Mrs. Jordan did. You need to. And, you know, you just, and again, you know, I've shared with other people. I'm like, well, you know, I don't have any money. I only got this coming in. I said, well, you can cook, can't you? Why don't you, when you cook and you get big pots, why don't you cook and go and make sure your neighbors are fed? Take a plate to your neighbor. Take some dessert to your neighbor. You never know. My daughter, when she was supposed to do this party, cater this party, I didn't understand it because I was like, if it's a party that you can't really cater and sell meals there, but she took her stuff and she said, she texted me, she said, Ma, there's nothing going on here. I said, well, come on home. And then the Lord said, no, tell her on the way home, because I thought she had dipped it all up. And I shared this with y'all already, so I'm sorry if you're hearing this again. But I thought she had already, you know, individualized the meals in the containers. But she hadn't, because she just put the foil back over everything. And she said, so she told me, she said, no. I said, the Lord, I called her. The Lord said, just feed the homeless on the way home. Just give the food away. He'll bless you. Give the food away. And so she said, no, it's still in the pans. And I said, okay, bring it home. She came home that night. A little friend came with her, and she created, I said, can you make about 20? I see the number 22. Can you make 22 plates? 22 containers. We made room in the refrigerator. My son and I, the next day we went out, we put them in a box, and everywhere we went, if somebody was homeless, I'm like, are you hungry? We put forks in there. I don't think we gave water. No, we had to give water. I think I stopped and got a little thing of water and handed out. We served that food that could have been purchased, that was supposed to be purchased, to 21 homeless people. Had to go look for them. Any other time you could find homeless people on the street. Here God gave us a mandate to do, and you know the devil pulls everybody homeless off the street. Couldn't find them. We found people tucked up in them. Are you hungry? And my son got out and he went underneath and just handed everything. You just never know. You just never know. And since then, she's been blessed. She started doing her meals and stuff. She's been blessed. But God got you covered. God's got you covered. He's given you. Everybody was born with skills, gifts, and talents. And lastly, I'm going to say this, that I went to see Brown. Brown. His last name is Brown, motivational speaker. Went to see him in Washington, D.C. He was
Les Brown.
Les Brown. Thank you. And he said, here you are on your deathbed, and your family's around your bed, but your hopes, your dreams, your ideas, all standing around your deathbed too, and say, look at you. Now we have to die with you. And that's why the wealthiest place in the world is the graveyard. The wealthiest place in the world is the graveyard. Why? Because there was a possible cure for cancer out there somewhere. There's a possible cure for lupus out there somewhere, for cardiac heart disease, for alopecia, now any disease or disorder went with that individual into that ground. I don't want my gifts and dreams and hopes and miracles and blessings to stand around my deathbed and say, now look, you never activated us. You didn't put us to work. You didn't believe in yourself. And now we have to die with you. Don't let that be you. If we can encourage you all to do anything, you've got a dream, reach out to somebody. Reach out to somebody. Call us. Respond. We're on YouTube. We're on everything. Send me an inbox. Inbox me. What do I do with this? A gentleman just said to me the other day, he said, well, now that you're my customer and everything, maybe you can help me with some grants. I said, sir, everything you do is not grant worthy. It's all for profit. He said, really? I said, yeah, you would be in the bidding category. There's no, unless I wrapped and I stopped right there because I said, no, I can't do a wraparound service. He wouldn't know what that is. I said, so he said, oh, everybody's always told me about grants. I said, yeah, most of them are wrong. Because what you do is all for profit. It's cash based, but you can get into the bidding and be a contractor for situations. He said, wow, nobody ever told me that. I said, yeah, well, you have to ask the right person. Because he about to put me to work. I said, no, I can't do nothing for you there. No, thank you.
It's so many opportunities through the government getting contracts. I met a friend, they put up TVs. I say, have you ever thought about teaching it? You don't hear, you go through whatever it takes to get yourself certified to be a teacher of that art and start teaching it.
And guess what, Tommy? They don't even have to have a degree to do that.
I know. That's what I know.
Provider, we can wrap around. That's a wraparound service. The training piece. You got right, Trey. That they could go out there and teach people how to install air conditioners and stuff. But we could put a 6-week program, lifestyle program around. That's called a wraparound. That's grant worthy. They could partner with myself or somebody like Trey with their own nonprofit. We draw the money down.
That's it.
We write the program for the whole thing. Yeah, you're right. That's what we call wraparound. We wrap something around what you do.
Wrap around what you do.
Amen. Well, guys, thank you. Yes, we got a couple of minutes more, and anything you all want to say to the audience out there as a form of encouragement, just don't stop, because the world as we know is not here anymore. It's not here anymore. And you've got to create and be creative, and your creativity's got to come out now. It's got to come out now. And it's not what you think it is. You put this mountain and you made a mountain out of a molehill. You've added all this stuff, and it don't take that. Just talk it out with somebody. Just talk it, just like I did with the gentleman. Just talk it out with somebody. Trey, anybody else have anything else to say? And then we're gonna close it out.
No.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, get your little notebook, write your stuff down, write some questions down. What is your goal for your business? What do you hope to get out of it? And just be in tune to how you feel when you're talking about your passion. Because your passion, when you're passionate about something, it'll flow. You don't have to try to find the words for it. And reach out to somebody that don't know who knows somebody till you ask.
And just be mindful who you're sharing it with. Let your discernment and let your spirit guide you to those you want to talk to. Talk to it maybe in a roundabout way, not giving direction, so that you find out who people know or what they may know that can share with you.
Mm-hmm.
So be mindful of the company you keep.
That sounds like a new show. Anyway, that's our time, y'all. We're going to see you next week, same time, same station. In the meantime, be prayerful, be careful, be wise. See y'all. Take care. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Good night.